Tesla solar roof install. This is a classic story about redemption, about how Tesla can thoroughly disappoint its customers, and about why I'm nevertheless very impressed, despite the thorough disappointment. So since signing up for the Tesla solar roof back in May, I had zero communication from Tesla for the next 3 months. There was one call I made to ask them about the $6,000 extra from the initial price of $19,000, where they explained this for an additional 1,079 square feet of alternate roof. So more roof means more cost. I get it. It sounds reasonable when I signed up. And that was it, until August, where they texted me and said that they can push up my install by 3 weeks. I texted back saying that's fine. Then a few days before the install, the field manager contacted me that he'd want a site visit for half an hour or so. So we met and we walked around the house and he took some photos and said everything looks good. I still had a few questions, like I wanted to confirm payment, whom do I pay, and can I pay with the credit cards? I mean, $26,000, I'd be swimming in credit card points, which I was excited about. Also, can existing gutters be reused? Will they be torn down? And if the install takes multiple weeks, will the crew be working over the weekend? Will at any point my roof be naked and exposed to the elements? What about inspection by the city inspector? When will that take place? So the field manager didn't know anything about payments. She just told me to not pay him nor the crew that comes on the first day. I recall from the video Tesla has that there will be a Tesla employee on site on the first day as well, and I assume I'll pay him or her. But I still don't know if credit card was acceptable or not. The field manager said he'll get someone from sales to call me, which never happened. And apparently the demolition of the roof will happen on the first day, and the city inspector will come on the first day. And that will be it, and the install will take place. It all sounds nice. This, as it turns out, also didn't happen, which I'll get into later. And then he broke the news. As it turns out, what we're installing is not going to be the Tesla solar roof, at least not entirely. A big chunk of it, especially the visible parts, are going to be the cheap asphalt shingles I talked about in part 1 of my review. You know, stuff they offer from Home Depot, the stuff I ran away from in the first place. The reason, apparently, is because it's a gambrel roof, and there are portions where it's too steep. Apparently, these Tesla solar tiles do not work for higher pitched areas, something along the lines of they're too heavy. In fact, later I learned that if the pitch is above a certain amount, you could still sign a waiver and void a 25-year warranty, I assume, but ours is just not even possible. So our only option were these asphalt shingles, or get what's called a seamless metal roof, which costs a fortune. For ours, it would have cost an additional $17,000 to the $26,000, something we didn't plan for. I mean, Tesla solar roof, their value is one big reason why we chose them, not the seamless metal roof that has no solar, and quite frankly, I don't even like its aesthetics. It makes my residential home look like a commercial building, at least in my opinion. I honestly don't know what that will do to the resale value of this house. I was told these last longer than the composition roof, asphalt shingles, but imagine, should I ever need repair, it will be more costly too. But anyways, all this one would think is nice to know when we signed the contract. Turns out, technically, it's there. This is the aforementioned alternate roof. Alternate doesn't mean the extra square footage, as I was told on the phone. Well, it does, just that in addition to the extra square footage, it also means an entirely different type of roofing too. This is misleading. Nowhere in the contract does it talk about composition shingles. Nowhere does it give me the option of seamless metal roofing. Maybe I won the lottery and can afford metal. Why isn't this information all front? I didn't know what to think at that point. The process has already taken 3 months, and I'm too heavily invested emotionally to back out. I was going to get a new roof, damn it. I was going to get a solar roof. I was going to eliminate my electricity bill. I was going to get a Tesla solar roof. My house is going to be cool. Yet, asphalt shingles is all everyone sees. The Tesla solar tiles are on top, which are essentially out of sight, doing little to aesthetics, and in fact, may turn out looking weird with the mixture of Tesla solar tiles and something else. and therefore doing little to the house value, which was another big reason for going Tesla Solar Roof anyway. I mean, otherwise we could have gotten a solar panel from anybody. So when dealing with big companies like Tesla, what can I do? It's too late in the process, and they won't care about the customers like me. So asphalt shingles it is, just to self-inflict more pain and to feel like I'm stuck and have no choice. I told the field manager to give me some quotes for metal roofing so I can prove to myself that metal is too pricey and makes no sense, and my only option is asphalt. He said he'll get someone from sales to call me, and again, that never happened. In fact, nothing happened until 7:45 a.m. on installation day when I got a loud knock at the door. The roofing crew was here, subcontracted out, so these are not Tesla people, asking if they can start removing the roof. I was perplexed. Where's the Tesla employee? Do I need to pay first? Well, no one from Tesla was here, and I didn't want to hold up the crew, so I said go ahead. The crew was fast. After a few hours of house-shaking demolition, the roof was off, and I guess next is to wait for the city inspector to come. Then the owner of a roofing crew came by to talk to us briefly. I told him about the lack of communication from Tesla and that I was completely in the dark about my options, and that I could certainly use his help. For the seamless metal roof, he confirmed it was not only going to be 4 times more expensive, but he'll also have to redo measurements and order, which was going to take like 10 days. With the roof removed and house exposed, this didn't seem like an option. In fact, with the roof removed, I have no options and can only hope that people I'm working with know what they're doing and have my best interest in mind. It's not a good feeling. So having still not paid after so much work is done, I called the number listed in my Tesla account for my project advisor because I really wanted to pay somebody. I got voicemail, which was full, but he promptly called me back within an hour. I explained to him about everything, and by that point, I was already at the acceptance phase of grief. I mean, I was just trying to pay and do everything to get this over with. And this is where I'm touched and blessed, quote unquote, by the Tesla magic. Surprisingly, my advisor seemed more concerned than me. He apologized for the quote unquote miscommunication, which is more like the lack of communication. You know, regarding what alternate roof means. I mean, you can't expect a customer who's a typical homeowner or non-roofer to know what that means, especially when I called back in May and still nobody told me about it other than its extra square footage. We talked literally for hours about my options at that point given the roof is off. I mean, he told me roofing crew would charge an extra $1,000 for dry rot they discovered, something the crew did not mention to me directly. And quite frankly, they could have charged $5,000 and I'd have no choice because my roof is naked. I mean, it doesn't usually rain at this time of year, but being near the ocean, there's a marine layer in the morning, like fog. That's definitely common. So my options were 1. Cancel the project and re-roof with asphalt shingles. 2. Continue the project with asphalt. 3. Continue with metal. Or 4. With solar tiles everywhere and sign waiver. Option 1 doesn't make sense. After all, we needed to re-roof. It didn't need to be now. Our old roof was older but still worked fine. Essentially with this option, we're re-roofing for nothing. Option 2 is what Tesla's plan is, so still viable. Option 3 really depends on price and the fact that we'll have to wait another 10 days for new measurements of the roof and the metal to be ordered. Option 4 is not an option, as we cannot sign a waiver even if we wanted to because the pitch was too high. This is where our advisor really went to bat for us, talking to his colleagues and escalating the issue with management. I waited for news from him overnight. It was a night of insomnia. None of these options were ideal. I wanted a Tesla solar roof. It's solar, it's cool, it's seen and adds to home value. The more I think about it, the more paying the extra $6,000 for asphalt alternative roofing doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm literally re-roofing another investment property the week after, and that job cost over $9,000 for the entire roof and it's asphalt. And this cost $26,000. I mean, that roof is smaller, but definitely more than half of whatever the asphalt's here. I mean, it's also the principle of the thing. All the marketing material shows Tesla solar tiles. Nowhere does anybody say it's possible that it'll be a mixture of tiles that are not Tesla solar tiles. In fact, every time I log onto my Tesla account, I'm greeted with a solar tile roof that, in my opinion, is pretty steep too. If I would have known earlier, perhaps I wouldn't need to deal with re-roofing in the first place. All of this was what was on my mind during the sleepless night. So the next morning, I got a call back from my advisor. He got Tesla to agree to pay half of whatever metal roofing would cost, as I guess compensation for the miscommunication and for my trouble and disappointment. That's over $8,000 because the metal roofing was going to cost an extra $17,000. But given that I need to wait like 10 days with a naked roof, and the $8,000 is quite expensive, that's hidden cost of a $26,000 project, it didn't seem like a good option. So I asked if I could just pay the original $19,000, essentially waiving this alternative roof nonsense, which is less than $6,000 to go with asphalt. The benefit is that, while it's still not completely Tesla solar roof, as I would have preferred, we can continue the project as planned immediately, and I wouldn't feel like I'm paying more for cheap roofing. And guess what? After talking to his colleagues, my advisor made it happen and sent me an updated agreement, and the project continued. So that's the point of the story. Tesla didn't have to care. As a small customer, with the roof off, I had no choice. Yet Tesla did, unlike many of the other giant corporations. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still much prefer having solar tiles on my roof. But at least, given the circumstances, they try to make it better, and I'm very impressed by that. So that's a lot that happened on the first few days of install. I will stop now and keep posted as more progress is made.